Welcome to the Kumalo Show. I'm your host, 808 Alpha. And today, we're talking Gaza. Not the filtered version, not the headlines. The full truth. I did my research. I read the reports. I listened to survivors. I looked through history. Because this is not just a political story. It's a human story. This is Gaza. Behind the walls, beneath the bombs, and beyond the silence. Understanding Gaza. Let's start at the beginning. Gaza is a narrow strip of land on the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea. It's about 41 kilometers long and 10 kilometers wide, smaller than most cities. But inside Gaza live over 2.2 million people. That makes it one of the most crowded places on Earth. Around 70% of Gazans are refugees or descendants of refugees. They come from towns and villages that were emptied during the 1948 war, the Nakba, when Israel was created and over 700,000 Palestinians were displaced. Today, Gaza is often described as an open-air prison. It's sealed off by Israel on one side and Egypt on the other. The people inside don't have control over their borders, their airspace, or their coastline. They need permits just to leave, which are rarely approved. The blockade and isolation. Since 2007, Israel and Egypt have enforced a strict blockade on Gaza. That was the year Hamas took control of the territory. Israel says the blockade is about security, to stop weapons and rockets. But what it actually means is this: goods, fuel, medicine, and people are heavily restricted. Basic materials like cement, steel, and glass are blocked. Electricity is limited. Sometimes it's only available for a few hours a day. Clean water is scarce. Over 97% of Gaza's water is undrinkable. A UN report once said Gaza could become uninhabitable by 2020. It's 2025 now. The people are still there, but the suffering has only deepened. I read stories of children waiting in long lines just to fill water bottles. Families cooking over fires because they can't get gas. Hospitals running without enough fuel to power generators during surgery. One mother said, "We are not living. We are only surviving. The wars that never stop." Gaza has been hit by repeated wars. In 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, and now again. Each time, the cycle repeats. Airstrikes, death tolls, international headlines, then silence. In 2014, over 2,200 Palestinians were killed. More than 500 were children. In 2021, the war lasted 11 days, 260 Palestinians killed. Entire neighborhoods wiped out, and in the latest assault, thousands have died again, mostly civilians. The excuse is always the same: Israel says it's targeting Hamas. But the reality is this: bombs fall on apartment buildings, refugee camps, hospitals, and schools. Ambulances are struck, journalists are killed, babies pulled from rubble. A 10-year-old boy named Yusuf told a reporter, "I don't sleep. I keep dreaming the ceiling is falling." Imagine being a child who's lived through 3 or 4 wars before turning 15. Daily life under siege. When there are no bombs, there is still a blockade. Electricity might come on for 4 hours. Or not at all. Most people live in poverty. Over half of Gaza's youth are unemployed. Students graduate with degrees but no future. I read about a boy named Salim who studied engineering. He said, "I built a robot for my final project. But I can't even get it out of Gaza to show the world." Children can't travel. Artists can't leave. Patients can't access hospitals outside. Cancer patients die waiting for permits. Even the dead are trapped. Cemeteries are full, and digging new graves is a struggle. Yet somehow, the people still live. They teach. They create. They resist. Not always with weapons, but with life itself. The politics of pain. Now, let's talk about the politics, because this is where it gets loud and emotional. Israel says it has the right to defend itself. And yes, every state has that right. But what about the people who have no state, no army, no air force, and no escape? Hamas fires rockets. Many are intercepted. But the response from Israel is not equal. We're talking airstrikes, tanks, drones, ground invasions. Since 2008, thousands of Palestinians have died, most of them civilians. The ratio is not war. It's punishment. Let's be honest. Gaza is not fighting a war. It's surviving an occupation. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have both described Israeli policies as apartheid. Separate laws, separate rights, systematic control. Even Jewish Israeli activists have said the same. This isn't about religion. It's about power. One side controls the other, completely. Where is the world? So what has the world done? Condemnations, resolutions, news reports, but no real action, no justice, no accountability. The UN passes resolutions, but they're ignored. The US keeps sending billions in aid to Israel, even during war. The Arab world sends statements, but few send real help. The people of Gaza are forgotten until the next explosion. Then cameras come, headlines flash, and a few days later, silence. Meanwhile, activists are labeled anti-Semitic for speaking the truth. But being against war crimes does not mean being against a religion. It means being for justice, for all. The spirit that refuses to die. Here's the part that broke me, and inspired me. Even in all this pain, Gaza still sings. Still writes. Still hopes. There are rappers, painters, teachers, doctors, filmmakers, kids fly kites, girls learn code, boys play football in the ruins. People fall in love, get married, have children, build dreams. A Gazan poet once said, "We teach life, sir." I saw videos of wedding celebrations in buildings with no walls. I saw a mother recite poetry over the rubble of her home. I saw children laugh while playing next to a destroyed school. You can destroy buildings, but you can't destroy a people who refuse to surrender. Final words. This is not about taking sides. This is about seeing people. This is about truth. Gaza is not just a war zone. It's a home under siege, a people under pressure, and a world too scared to speak. But on this show, we speak. If you're listening right now, remember this: silence is a choice. And silence helps the oppressor, never the oppressed. Educate yourself. Follow the real voices from Gaza. Amplify Palestinian stories. Question the headlines. Because Gaza is not just a dot on the map. It's a mirror of our humanity, or the lack of it. This has been the Kumalo Show. I'm your host, 808 Alpha. And I don't just report stories. I feel them, I share them, and I stand for them. Until next time, peace. But not silence.